What is going on YouTube? This is Acid Root. So I'm going to review the debut album by Flobots. Basically, this product is called Fight with Tools, and it came out in the fall of 2007. Now, within the particular fair, that's where it originally released, but it was re-released later in the spring of 2008 as far as this fair is going to happen. Now, within these pitches, Larry the Batman fan introduced this particular artist and band to me as far as these fairs going to happen within the pitches of it. So he did not introduce. This album is very similar to, like, particularly Fort Minor, Rage Against the Machine, some of those rap rock type bands from like either early 90s or when that briefly came back in like the mid 2000s, pitched like that. This is another type one. It's a very good cousin of like the particular Fort Minor type style. Once Fort Minor started to dry up, this is a good choice of something to kind of fuck with within those tones, because basically after probably about mid 2006 or so, Mike Shinoda got back to like Linkin Park and fairs like that, so it's within those pitches. But yeah, looking after it here, there were two singles off this product, somewhat brief for promotion, but Larry the Batman fan showed me a hit song off this product that was not a single, so it's within good type fairs. I'm going to talk about that one as well as if it were a single, so good fairs. But within these pitches, so this kind of had more or less like some modest type popular, kind of within the pitch, kind of more wayside within the pitch of what particularly happened. It did almost go gold, sold over 265,000 copies by the particular fair. That was just of 2008, so it might have actually gone gold 17, 18 years later, pitches like that. But just looking after that, so that was good choice of some banner type rap rock type feel. Probably one of the more notable type ones I can think of once Fort Minor dried up and pitched like that. So excellent type ordeals. Rage Against the Machine was kind of starting to come back within a minor type sense in those type fairs, but it's just good type pitch. This is a pretty healthy type album within pitch. Now obviously I'm going to talk about on here within some of these type pitches as far as like the fair of picking up like corn chips, Fritos, some of these type aspects, the beer sipping, some of these type ordeals. Just within pitch, the actual commonplace about it is it's not as full bound, kind of get super cranked within those aspects. It's basically like the same aspect. It's the same aspect as Fort Minor, where Fort Minor would kind of have some of that type tear up within pitch like that, but it also had things to say within the aspect of like the get alongness, keeping you kind of informed with like the get along and like the standard commerce of like the goings on with like the news and the 411 and pitches like that. This particular album does that a little bit more within those pitches, so there's really not as much. Like there are a couple date night type songs within pitches like that as far as like a relative kind of evening scene step out, but for the most part the standard fare about this album, for what I saw from it, is more productive, kind of probably between a little bit amidst like the lunch rush 1:30, 12:30 pitch like that to probably about 5:30, maybe about 4:30, 5:45, 6:15. Some of that fares mostly more based when the sun is out within pitch like that. Just kind of miss like the work, mostly based upon the workaday and work shift type product. And it's not to say it's square like, it isn't square like of an album pitch like that, but just kind of the fair just get some shit done on top of like the fair disc like. And it's not as if the entirety of the fair is just strictly kind of taking care of task force type fair, get things done within those pitches, but this has the product just getting you along with like the fair disc, how the straightforward type product we kind of get along. So yeah, good typical kind of makeshift, but it does it in like a neighborhood touch sense. So it's just some good John's fairs like that. Hit up like a Taco Bell, hit up like an Arby's, some of these type pitches, get some pawn shop type things going, pick up like a quick DVD, something like that within those tons. Just extra type product, but also within the fair some utility runs, fairs like that, help out around the house or just living independently or not within those pitches, just kind of getting some home tasks taken care of within the product, some makeshift songs on there on top of that within the commerce of it. So it just does those pitches. Just same sort of fair as Rage Against the Machine and Fort Minor, just probably one or two more stages more tight-laced within the aspects for those fairs, but it's not a square type album, so within the pitch. But yeah, there's 12 songs off this. There's 12 songs off this album. I recommend 11 out of 12. Really, the only real song, there's one song I don't recommend. There's a War Going On for Your Mind as far as the spreads. This is just a spoken word type song, so within pitch like that, it really narrows it down to 11 songs. Out of the remaining 11 songs, there are actually songs in here. Recommend all 11, so this album gets a 10 out of 10 pitches like that. Had some hit singles that crested throughout the summer of 2008. Now within the fair, they might have been released a little bit further back in 2007, but it's good pitches like that as far as this album kind of cresting, being a nice summer treat to kind of get within those fairs, just as a differential, kind of separate from the typical kind of rap that was kind of popping around that time within those fairs around the summer of 2008. But good type fairs about it. So yeah, to say, so basically Two singles on this product would be Handlebars and Rise, and the song that Larry the Batman fan recommended to me was Combat. So I'll talk about those three ones, then we'll get to the rest of the album. So basically, Handlebars, the nice one here, is like a gauzy kind of leftover Rage Against the Machine type vibes, just in like a summer track, I'd say here. Great, nice one to pick up Gardettos and some cold beers, pitches like that within those ordeals about it. So it's just kind of, this feels kind of like a yellowy and kind of just more drear effect is kind of about it. As that same particular product just feels ripped out of 1992, 93, some of those type pitches just within format, just typical kind of aspect alike. The way Mike Shinoda and a ton of these type folks would kind of have those particular products about it. Pretty much gaping wide hole within some of these type aspects, I would definitely say just the product of where that particular fair had kind of happened, considering the aspect of what was particularly popular back in 2008. It's just a good type fair that this was kind of an alternative within a sense in terms of rap music type fair. Now, originally I thought that they did not drop that many albums. They did drop another album in 2010, but this album did pretty good within these pitches. This was like a top 35 single, top 45 single, something like that within those tones as far as those pitches going to happen. This is kind of one. Now, it's not as much full bound, that particularly Flobots is seen as a one-hit wonder, but this had like some good girth of popularity that they did not replicate as full bound. I mean, they had other hits on like the rock charts, but this is one of the breakthrough type ones that kind of caught waves and attention as far as those first albums. It's good type pitch, it's good, nice one, has a nice hook on here, some of those type pitches about, has the relative kind of disc radio snap out it to kind of have that particular type of appeal. There are some other ones on here that I feel like that could fight with this particular song, Handlebars, that are pretty much as good in terms of like some radio type appeal. I would definitely say, like, particularly Never Had It's a pretty good example of that. And then I would also say particularly, yeah, Never Had It's a good example of some radio type appeal, and same thing does that pretty well as well. They're kind of similar also in certain senses to Gym Class Heroes, good pitch like that, those some other type pop and type ones. But yeah, Rise, the second single, good pitch like that. It's like a grand dilapidated kind of Fort Minor kind of wayside commute to kind of get here. Pretty within the same type aspect, not quite a, doesn't feel quite as dewy and as balmy as Handlebars, but good type pitch within the same format. Just typical kind of stress, just doing favors / errands. Some of those type fares about it, just getting like some, picking up like some further type beer or some dish soap, some pitches like that. Just standard errand or just utility necessary aspects for the tone, just out in the wind as far as those fares gonna go. So some of these type ones just feel more like uptown type songs, pitches like that. But it's just kind of the trek of some of those type fares, just getting the product like that particular aspect particularly done. It's getting the product of that particular aspect particularly done as far as those fares go. So just to miss like the trek, like the standard fare, have a few pals long, just some checklist kind of things just to get done within those pitches. Pick up like a couple Bic lighters, extra type fare, you know, the dish soap pitches like that. Get like some napkins, some of these type products just within the fare, just check off as far as those pitches kind of have a good type tone. Combat is a nice one as well. This is a song that Larry the Batman fan recommended to me. It's good type fare about this one. It's like a nice hop and bop to get and local bounce to kind of have within these tones. Has a little bit more rhythmic kind of jive about it. Good type appeal. Definitely like, this feels like a song for like a good kind of Monday and Tuesday, just weekday type song, but just the good aspect. Usually Monday and Tuesday, some of these beginning of the week type days are more hated within pitch like that, but it's a good apple type one, or it's beginning of the week where it has a little wild, but it's kind of the aspects for say not in a foul, horrid, you know, bad hair day type mood pitch like that, just kind of grooving through the city, so on stuff there. It's just a productive type one as well, so getting some things done, good pitches like that. Whizzing on by pitches like that within some stuff ordeal. So it's just excellent type aspect, just getting through like the township type fare, good excellent type product. So this combines pretty well with some of these type singles. I mean, there's a number of these on here with these pitches, which is excellent type ordeals, but just kind of the product as far as saying within the tone behind it, just having like typical type Johns just to get to be amidst like the day in the sunshine, get some good food pitches like that within the aspect behind it. Combat has a little bit more energy than Rise and Handlebars, I'd say. Handlebars is a little bit more sluggish, a little bit more gauzy, I'd say. Rise is kind of more just a back, kind of more early 90s type fair pitch like that, similar to Rage Against the Machine, traces of Fort Minor, but I'd say Combat has like a nice relative type jump, maybe almost mild kind of venue type song within pitches like that, just good type groove for like some mess hall type noise, mosh pit, bull pit type noise pitches like that. I'd say good type fares. So that's the product about this album in terms of like the singles and that's the product about this album in terms of the singles and the initial type conduct I had with this album as far as these fares gonna happen. Now I think within standard type fare I might have at least caught Handlebars in some degree of sense, just didn't remember as complex within the appeal behind it. It's not seemingly not every day that Flobots is kind of commonplace, kind of talked about, but it's within pitches like that. So good type fares, but some of these type ones, Never Had It's a real excellent type one to get the rest of this album. 10 out of 10, recommend all 11 songs. There's songs in here. Never Had It's like a red hot kind of radio jingle to get. This could have been, this feels like it could be single, I'd say. Satiny kind of dinner date pitches like that. Just good song to slow it down for Good song to slow it down. Divas in Mind pitch like that. Also good song for like a pot run just on days where it's not as much benefits as far as those first games. So just kind of missed the fair disc out in the wind within a more kind of chum along type sense. You never had it just has a real catchy kind of melodic type hook on here. Some of those type fairs I'd say about within the tone. Just it's kind of a Pink Skies kind of just city saunter as far as those first games. Just missed the pitch like standard, real softcore kind of glaze type tune pitches like that. Fight with Tools, the title track is nice on here as well. It's like a nice groovy shit to do kind of song I'd say within these aspects. Good primer for like some demon time I'd say here, so it's kind of missed the fair. Not as much a miss like the sunny, not as much a miss like the sunny kind of lunch rush type fair pitch like that, but just kind of some activity. The song's like a good primer for some demon time activity I'd say here. Just missed the aspect, getting to some excitements pitch like that. So it's just kind of fair, just one of those type ones that should get the thrills going pitch like that within the aspect behind it. Feels like a nice one to primp and get ready as far as like the fair. Just like that excitement of something for it's kind of a docking period. Things about the pop off 6:30, 7:15 pitch like that. So just an excellent prime as far as this pitch can go. Good type fair. And Braden is a nice one on here. It's like a dope syrupy kind of red eyes neighborhood sludge kind of get. This food for thought I'd say about this song is kind of Rage Against the Machine type played as far as those fairs going to go. This is within probably now the particular fair about it. The way that this is kind of a sluggish type song, it feels more within the sense of just something to kind of smoke to, just shit on your mind as far as those fairs going to happen within the pitch. But just looking after within the tone as far as saying this has the product of. It does have like the healthy palate as far as particular type fairs that having something to say. So it's just kind of the pitch. It gives you a palette of some things to kind of have within like the aspect of something to pay attention to within those pitches, just within the format of disc. And sometimes there's complaints about on rap albums that it just doesn't have much to say within these pitches. It's a good type format, but it does have the pitch within like the production type or in the band work as far as these first gonna have them just being able to say that it has the aspect of just being able good kind of lazy type or just to feel right as far as this pitch happens. So excellent type of appeal with it. I don't know if I talk about Mayday, but Mayday is nice on here as well. Mayday is like a glared kind of summer traffic and makeshift, I'd say, about this particular song here. Just a longer term kind of Fort Minor pitch like that, some type of appeals. Some of those type ones, just the same aspect of getting some of that particular rap rock type bite within pitches, just way out in 2008. Some of these type fairs, just kind of a blase type fair about it, but it has a push as far as this fair's going to go. Just good, nice one to grab like some Arby's. So it's just a miss like that traffic dredge, almost like a frustrate type song, but just not necessarily in a horrid type mood, but just kind of the typical type blase of just like, damn it, gotta get through it. Not, it's kind of like halfway kind of, screw it. It's kind of some caught up in traffic type songs, like halfway kind of screw this, but just kind of missed the push. It's still getting it done as far as this first game. So just diligent, resilient type song, good pitch like that, but just good, nice fair to get like some Arby's along the way, pitch like that, some of those type ones. Pretty much goes hand in hand with some of these initial type ones I was talking about, Combat, Rise, Handlebars, just good pitch like that, miss like the standard John of it, but this one's a little bit more straightforward within the makeshift type fair. I don't think I've talked about Same Thing yet. Same Thing is nice. It's a good radio appeal type one. It's like a relative venue and evening scene kind of embrace to get within the aspects. Grab like some wings. It's out and around this night type fair. McAllister's, good places, McAllister's, Applebee's, some of these places, Wingstop, good pitches like that. Just good, nice fair to loosen up, kind of date night type fair pitches like that within the ordeal. Now this is about the closest thing that kind of gets within the aspect to like some good turn up within the fashion of like dance club type noise and bar hopping in terms like the socialized kind of within the fair. Same thing as some good basic foot tap and relief as far as those supposed to happen. Just a miss like the scene of basically a rap rock type marinate within the aspects as far as those tones can have. So just good break free and like a Friday type sense, good pitch like that. But it's kind of the fair as far as saying makes you wonder what a dance club type song would have happened within the pitch when you think of like a song by like Fort Minor, like Petrified, some of those type ones, other type ones within certain senses like Remember the Name, good pitches like that. I mean, it has that particular type of appeal. Definitely within the aspect, just good type Johns, but just a good definite good date night and lounge type saunter, good pitches like that, I'd say. We Are Winning's a nice one as well within these pitches. This has a spoken word type intro to both the verses on here as far as these folks can have a good clever type pitch. It's like a dope routine, kind of fuck the system and be radical type song pitches like that. It's kind of a Swash City surf to kind of get here. Good nice one to pick up Doritos, go for some utility runs pitches like that. So just within a fair about it. So just kind of within the fair. I mean, it gets caught up within the message. Not to say like that's a problem within the pitch behind it, but it's this kind of aspect as far as having some of these type ones has a productive type sense within the aspect of the lacings together of getting it done, but also within the fair having like that additional type product of not entirely being strictly work type fair pitch like that. So just the product having some of those type extra type products. I mean, just to say within the full bound typeness, this is not a superbly kind of indulgent type product. So it's just kind of pitch having that extra type fare, just getting those Doritos in there pitched like that. In addition to this, good utility type fare on top of that goes along with songs like Rise pretty well and Mayday, good pitch like that. Dismiss the fares, but just kind of this aspect, just kind of throwing those party favors in there as well. Stand up is nice within these pitches. This definitely gave me some vibes of Fort Minor. It's like a vintage kind of Fort Minor vibes to get here. Just food for thought, I'd say about this one. Just typical kind of workaday dredge, I'd say here. Just diligent type song, some of those type fares within the pitch, but just good, nice one to pick up beer also within those aspects. It's kind of the fair. Can't particularly think of like the full bound type song, but if you pay attention to Fort Minor's album, The Rising Tide from 2005, just one of those type pitches. I guess I could look that up. Just, this feels very chummy and just within the aspect of like, feels like a preppy kind of rap rock type song pitches like that. Not to say preppy in terms like derogatory pitches like that, but just kind of the afternoon kind of prep and just pitches like a little bit. Definitely reminds like the Fort Minor song Believe Me as far as these fairs going to happen. Just kind of the aspect of stand up is good, steady kind of afternoon pep and bustle as far as those fairs going to happen. So yeah, diligent type song pitches like that. Also just good type fair to throw in a box of beer along the way within some type pitches. Just as like this is like a token of appreciation for like the put for the like the hours and fair put in. But I look after a good type fair about it. This is like I've been saying, a lot of these songs do have like the message type fair about them. So it's just from the pitch, just a number of these, particularly like Ann Braden, Stand Up, like Handlebars, some of these type ones, Fight with Tools, just a number of these type ones on here within the pitch. Just kind of the product to say, and looking for like something that has like the presentability. This is an SFW type album, definitely in the pitch. I want to say that it doesn't appear that there's an explicit edition of this album, so it's pitches like that as far as saying this has the fair. It is probably something within the standard fare, depending. I mean, it has. It's more or less a radical type album, but it's just not within like the middle fingers kind of raised type pitch that you would expect from the way that like I think his name was like De La Rocha, something like that. The De La Rocha dude, Zach De La Rocha, and folks like that, kind of within those fields. Just not quite as furious with the aspect, but it just has a standard fare, just something to say. It kind of has more Mike Shinoda more so than De La Rocha, but just pitches like that. Just good type ordeal for some of those type fares. And I think the last song I haven't talked about on here is the Rhythm Method is the song The Rhythm Method Move as far as these fares can go. So this is like an on the day prowl kind of productive and widespread kind of lace dots as far as these fares can have. Just some sunny dredge kind of get here. So just within the tone. To dismiss the day product, just within that fair. So just kind of on the scene as far as those fairs can have. Just kind of within the aspect of traditional type run. Just more or less routine within those fairs, within the aspects of it. Just, but yeah, I would definitely say productive, widespread, some of those type aspects, just with the tone behind it. Just getting aspect of getting shit done and accomplished within the fairs, but just typical type fairs. So just has the conduct, this good type product, just out and around, just in the sunshine as far as those fairs can have. So good aspect, but just that typical type dredge within tone, just like the usual weekday kind of blase. So I think that particularly takes care of it as far as these fairs can have just within the pitch as far as saying. I'm trying to think if there's anything else I haven't talked about on here. That's a particular aspect about it. It's a 10 out of 10 album. The social score I would go ahead and give maybe possibly like a 9.75. I look within the pitch as far as saying it's excellent aspects on here. Not like it's not a classic in terms of like the appeal of what it has, just in particular. It's just kind of the tone. I think the only main thing that you probably would want full. I think the only main thing that would be wanted is full bound on here is just maybe some sort of dance club type song within the pitch. Just the relief. I mean, you get some date evening type songs within the aspect. I feel like the closer thing to like the fair is just like relief type fair when you considering the productiveness of how the fair kind of goes with like the neighborhood jaunts pitches like that, which is some excellent type. Considering like the productive type fair, like the neighborhood type jaunts. There's some dope type fair with like neighborhood type jaunts, just getting things done. I miss like the sunshine, the out and around within like the frustrate of it, and the particular type push of just keeping the grit of it going within those aspects. So it's kind of the fair. That's about the only thing you do get. Like I was saying, the Friday type songs are more oriented to like Wingstop kind of just dines with like some barbecue wings and things like that within those tones. Just maybe order a couple drinks for a diva in like a restaurant scene type fair pitch like that. But it's kind of the ordeal that's about the main thing. Is just wanting like a song that's particularly like Never Had It, or like same thing but just more within a pitch of like a cut loose full bound. It's not a horrid type thing within the pitch. I just say it's just within the fair that it might be something within the fair as far as saying it just has the production. It's a productive type album just to be able to say it like that. So it's just the pitch as far as saying, but it's excellent type fair. It's excellent type fair. It just makes you want something within the cut loose type fashion. So it's good type products for us. This first game, but good type pitch. The hustle's on here pretty heavily pitched like that. So it just has a strengthy type resolve, good pitch like that. Excellent type banner typeness to get out in the neighborhood. Some of these type products get the utility runs going, get the hustle going. Some of these type pitches. The excellent type fair. The singles are pretty catchy within pitches like that. Just a trace of rap rock that filled the gap as far as once Fort Minor was kind of taken care of and wrapped up, but going back to Lincoln Park. So it's just a good pitch to have like an open area to be able to get that done. So in terms of the future, like not as full bound sure what particularly Flobots has been up to in these recent type times. I could look that up. They've dropped albums as recently as 2017, pitches like that, so it's within the ordeal as far as saying hopefully we get another type one of these out. They might have dropped singles, some of these type. I think they have dropped a couple singles. They dropped like some sort of revamp of Handlebars, something like that within those ordeals, but hopefully some new albums kind of arise, pitches like that. Accident type ordeals, good staple out of the mid-late 2000s, kind of an uncommon, seldom type album to be talked about, pitches like that. Some clever type stuff on here, just some food for thought that has some banner typeness. Obviously, to stay within fair, it's definitely a healthy SFW type album to have in like a rap rock type sense. It's the healthier, more melded type version of the stuff that Rage Against the Machine Gun does. Excellent type fair. I would keep like the Coors and the Budweiser kind of in rotation on top of that. Get some Fritos going, some of those type aspects. The treats for some date nights, pitch like that. But excellent type ordeals with that.